Hello, this is Chris Heasley with the Chris Heasley Radio Show. And on today's show, we have Lisa WOHLWEND. Did I pronounce that right, Lisa?
Yes, you did.
Very good. Lisa WOHLWEND with Life. What is it again? I'm sorry.
It's LifeWave.
LifeWave with LifeWave, and uh, I keep in touch with my friends and family back in Youngstown, Ohio, and back there they are buzzing about the LifeWave X39 patch, and it's a technology that seems almost too good to be true. It's quite remarkable, and what happened is that one of my close friends tried the patch. He's had it on for about 2 weeks, and he over the course of having this patch on his body, I have one on me right now. It's the X39 patch. Sorry, getting that in the camera. Okay, there we go. X39 patch, and I've had it on for just about a week. But my one of my good friends has it on, and he's had it on for just under a month. And every week, first time I forgot that he put it on, and then I brought it up to him. I said, "Hey, how's that going?" He said, "There is something with this patch." He said, I
Right.
can't explain it. I can't put it into words, but there is something happening with my body with this patch. It's incredible. And 2 weeks later, or a week later, I asked him again, and it was the same response. And at that point, I had to try the patch. I've had it on for 1 week. I'll talk about my experience on it because it's hitting me as well. But before that, I want to bring Lisa on and introduce Lisa. Lisa, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to be here.
Good, good. So the floor is yours. Tell us what is the LifeWave. It's the X39 patch. What is this technology?
Yes. So, yes, it is. It's very exciting. I have personally, myself, I've been in the health and wellness space for almost 30 years now. And I will say this is the most exciting thing and most prolific thing that I've come across in the health and wellness space. Just really, I've always had a passion to just help people with their health. And for 25 years, I did that through helping people customize their nutrition and fill in those gaps with nutritional supplements. And that just led me on this path and this journey. And I was introduced to the patch or became aware of the patch a little over 2 years ago. And, it was just kind of like a thing that just kind of the buzzword. I started hearing about stem cells in the health and wellness space more frequently. In the medical space, it was being more talked about. But when I heard about this patch and the technology, it was just at that point in time, it was very intriguing. And I knew it was something I wanted to learn more about. So if we fast forward a little bit, several months had gone by, and what I saw was a same, just like you, somebody I knew was using the patch and getting great results. And I knew at that point I needed to do a little more deep dive. And, this friend of mine had been struggling with fibromyalgia issues. And just for her, we call it a one patch wonder when somebody uses the patch for one day and they get dramatic results. And as I explain the technology a little bit more, you'll understand why for a lot of people it takes a lot longer because we're talking about deep inner healing in the body. And it really, that's going to vary from person to person of what their body needs to do to overcome any issues they've been dealing with for, years or even longer. So, like I said, it was the word stem cell that got my attention. And basically what this technology is doing is it's activating the production of the copper peptide, which will stimulate stem cell activity in your body. And what I learned in that process was that by age 30, over 50% of our stem cell activity has gone dormant. And stem cells are the master cells in the body. I mean, they will replace any cell in the body. They can pretty much heal and repair anything. And so by 30, we start to feel the effects of aging because of that lack of stem cell activity. And between 30 and 65, almost the remainder, 50%, go dormant. So we have very, very little stem cell activity by age 65 to live out the remainder of our life. And then the other thing that happened is just coming across, again, learning and getting information. But the New England Journal of Medicine has recently come out with the number one indicator for degenerative disease and aging is the absence or presence of adult
Adult stem cells is what she's saying.
Activity that is yeah. Is it cut now?
Yeah, but you're good. Let's keep trying.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Make sure you're okay. You got me.
I got you.
So that stem cell activity is directly correlated to, like I said, aging and degenerative diseases. So my husband and I, we got started with the patch, and I just continued to learn. And the more I learned, the more wows that happened. So as I learned more about this technology directly from the founder himself and learned more about him, it just became more and more fascinating. So this technology birthed over 20 years ago when David Schmidt was actually working for the Department of Defense. He was in charge of a part of the Navy SEAL program, and his job was to develop this technology that will elevate their performance under duress, under lack of sleep, to help with energy, to help with their physical performance without using stimulants, without using supplements. And this technology was birthed out of that. So it is simply using the light that from your own body. It reflects it back at certain frequencies, and those frequencies of light will stimulate the production of certain peptides in the body, which just lead to a series of events. So knowing that, we know, the Navy SEALs are pretty important when it comes to their jobs and protecting pretty much all across the globe, that I knew that was a pretty big deal, that this technology was birthed out of that. So when his contracts were up with them, he started LifeWave. So LifeWave as a company has been around for 20 years. And again, that was something that was important to me. The foundation is solid. This technology itself, for this particular patch that we're talking about, David Schmidt spent 10 years in the lab developing this stem cell technology, and over $4 million of his own money was invested into the development of this one single patch, the one that we're talking about today. So the more I learned, the better it got. And then in that time frame, more people that I personally knew were using the patch from the patch. So the testimonies and the stories just started coming in. And I mean, honestly, it just kept getting better and better from there. So I don't know if you have any specific questions that you want me to address.
Well, the first thing I would say is that, apologize for that. My phone beeps because a family member of mine has diabetes, and it's alerting me about the diabetes.
Right.
And why are our kids coming down with peanut allergies, diabetes, autism, all of these things? It's because of it's this environment, this toxic environment that we've been placed in. And I will say I don't believe it's an accident. I think that this was a systematic, purposeful thing done to us, completely, contaminating our airspace, contaminating our foods. It cannot be a coincidence. Our grandparents' generation, they had healthy foods, healthy fruits, healthy gardens, healthy vegetables. And here we are today, contaminated on every end. That's why I had you on tonight, because I'm looking for answers that are non-traditional. I don't want any more surgeries or traditional medicines or pharmaceuticals or all of these things that we're learning are not really, they're duct taping the problem. They're not fixing anything. They're duct taping it, or it's even the break fix model. They break it, they fix it, they break it, they fix it. They never really fix it. They keep it broken, so you're always coming into them for more medicines, for more therapies. And I'm looking for solutions here, and this is an out-of-the-box solution. It's one that's really hard for us to believe when we've been told that this sort of stuff is not grounded. But I don't know. Tell me, is it getting a lot of response because people like me are looking for solutions?
Well, absolutely, and I believe it's spreading so quickly because it's working. So, and again, you mentioned just the toxicity. Yes, we live in a toxic world. And so first and foremost, we do our best to reduce our toxic load. But we do know our bodies are designed and equipped the way that they were designed. They're equipped to heal and repair. And our stem cells are those master cells. So within seconds of this patch being put on your body, over 4,000 genes begin to reset. This has the ability to turn off bad genes, to turn on good genes, to replace old cells with brand new cells. So with enough time, things start to heal. And the technology, but the evidence is there. So the studies are there, not just people we personally know that are getting results, but it started with just looking at the research. And then the fact that it is patented, to have a product patented, at least my understanding of that, is that you have to be able to prove and back up that it does what you claim it does.
That is correct. In order to obtain a patent, you have to have verifiable results.
Okay, so this product is a patented product, and it will be for the next 20 years. I mean, and when I say these things, these are things that I saw personally that edified it for me. And then it just gives more credibility from my perspective to the company itself and the product. So it just makes it a one-of-a-kind patented technology that nobody has. And again, I've been in the wellness space for almost 30 years. That's important to me when it comes to something that I could offer people. But the results then speak for themselves as far as what it's doing for people. And a couple of things that, in addition to the genes being reset and the body being able to heal and correct things that are wrong, but your dependency on outside supplement use becomes much, much less because the body starts to function as it's designed to. And I'll give one example of that. This actually, after 3 months of patching, your body's production of collagen increases. So your body is increasing the level of collagen itself. It's producing its own collagen, which reduces my need to supplement it from other sources. So I'd much rather my body be doing what it's designed to do at optimal levels than having to fill those gaps with supplements from other sources. So that is one thing and the patch can do in addition to some of the things we've mentioned. And, the list seems endless, what's possible. Besides just having energy, being able to wake up and start your day without needing a stimulant, and get through your day without needing something to pick you up throughout the day. So that was the first thing most people notice is just the extra energy, the stamina. It's not like a spiked energy. It's just stamina to get you through your day. Again, the way the body was designed to do. And that energy enhancer patch was the first patch that David Schmidt formulated for the Navy SEALs. So that is a mechanism that he was able to tap into the body to help it function more optimally. And so then just as time went on, I mean, I have a friend whose mom had a brain tumor that went away after 10 months. And the only thing she changed was adding the patch into her regime. Her doctors had been monitoring this. It was a benign tumor, and they were monitoring it because of its location, had chosen not to remove it all those years, but it was there. And they never expected anything to happen to it. But it was gone. And again, I think, I could probably keep talking about testimonies.
Yeah.
We had an older gentleman, a friend who's posting pictures about her dad. 4 to 5 months ago, he was in hospice care. He couldn't, by the time he was in hospice, he was pretty much bedridden. But prior to that, couldn't get around without his walker or a cane. He was on 6 liters of oxygen. He, was basically, they were just telling her to prepare for the end. And a friend had told her about the patch. They started putting the patch on him. Within a few months, he was off of his oxygen. They kicked him out of a hospice. He's now home with her. She posts pictures of him feeding the bird feeder, which she said was one of his favorite activities to do. He was scooting around on the lawnmower, just picking up sticks out of the yard and cleaning up the yard. He does his little push-ups at the kitchen sink. He's excited that he's now doing his own chores of laundry and washes his own dishes. He's, I said he's off oxygen, but he gets around without a cane or a walker. And again, these are, she even mentioned, as his daughter, she goes, I don't know if this is going to add years to his life. And that's really not the point of this. It's just that it's adding life to his years. So while he is still here, he's getting a better quality of life. And I could go from a 96-year-old man down to a 2-year-old, people that are getting benefits. We had a young boy, 11 years old, severely cross-eyed. his parents, from the time he was 2 or 3 years old, have done all the therapies that they could possibly do to try to help him. He was being bullied at school, all the things that come with those kind of things for kids. And after 4 months on the patch, his eyes corrected themselves. So it's, from inner healing to outward signs, it's amazing what this patch can do. So it's a patented technology. The studies show what the claims show, and it happens 100% across the board for people that use the patch. The only thing that's the variable from person to person is the time and how long something takes to happen. The doctors across the board share that the minimum time requirement for the patch to get fully activated in the body is a minimum of 1 month for every decade you've been walking on the planet. So if someone is in their 50s and 60s, again, that stem cell activity is very, very low by that point. We're looking at a 6-month minimum commitment to give the patch the chance to work in its body. But if there's more deeper healing that has to happen, or if somebody's been dealing with a chronic health issue for many years or decades, I had a practitioner tell me years and years ago when I was having a sciatica issue that she needed 1 month of healing for every year that I've been dealing with the problem. So I've just kind of carried that through. When you tap into a true way of helping the body heal, is you have to give it time to go back in time and reverse that healing. So if something's been around for 3 months or 3 years or 10 years, you're going to give it that extra time beyond that 6 months to do that deep healing. So, but the one thing that I will add on that is, as profound and prolific as this is, it's the most comprehensive health technology that I've ever come across. It's also the most simplest, okay? Like we said, it's a patch, it's a sticker. All we have to do is peel it off, put it on. You wear it for 12 hours, you take it off for 12 hours. So the hardest thing about this whole thing is remembering to take it off. That healing part, that absence of taking it off is we stimulate and then we let the body heal. So it's a very simple system. Anybody can do it, and it can help anything.
So we have on the screen there, if anyone's interested in learning more about this technology, text the word Patriot to 330-606-2304. We're at a time where we have to start considering these new remedies. When they dropped the Wuhan flu on us, President Trump and other people were saying to try HCQ, hydroxychloroquine. There was another remedy that they were saying to do. I cannot remember what it is. Do you remember what that was? HCQ, and then the other one that I got it from India. I can't remember, but
is the ivermectin? Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, ivermectin. Yes. Okay, so I remember Charlie Ward, who's a personality I follow on Rumble, and he said that his mother-in-law was taking ivermectin. She had cancer, and he was taking ivermectin, and what happened is they got the cancer to a point where they just had to cut open her chest and reach in and pull out. It was completely encapsulated by the fat in her body, completely, partitioned from the rest of her body, and they just pulled it out. And that was from the ivermectin. And so we were all, and you remember when they came out with these technologies, ivermectin, HCQ, the medical community went mad, and they were threatening, and they were just, it was just really bad. The corporate press was going insane with these accusations that it was bad information, it was dangerous, all of these things. But the truth is they were protecting their industry. They weren't concerned with our own medical health. So I think it's very important that as we learn these things, like, for example, the healing powers of HCQ, of ivermectin, we had a woman on 2 weeks ago that talked about traditional remedies from things like dandelions in your backyard. We mow them with the lawnmower when we should be cultivating these things. I think it's time to be considering things like that, and like this light therapy. A couple things. I've had it on for less than a week, and I expected nothing. I put it on. I assumed that it would take a month, and to be quite honest, it's so, it's just so rudimentary, mundane that I put it on. I forgot about it, and within a day, there were some serious changes in my body. I'll just tell you what they are. Number one, I drink a lot of caffeine. Okay, when I put this thing on, I didn't need caffeine anymore. I drank caffeine, and what happened is I had too much energy. So my caffeine dependency went down considerably. I mean, I would say it's almost gone. Caffeine down. Number two, I would have these energy drops about twice a day during the workday, and I would just go to I just go to my car and I close my eyes for like 10 minutes and just get a power nap in. I don't need to do that anymore. If I start to feel sleepy, it just goes away. My energy is on all day long, and then finally the cobwebs in my head. Every morning I get in the office, I have to stare at the files for an hour before I start understanding them and finding a starting point. I get in the office now and I just open up the laptop and I'm going. My productivity's off the charts. So that's my short experience of less than a week with this, and that's what I'm finding is that my productivity, my energy levels are incredible.
Yeah. And those are typical responses that people can expect. The exception would be if someone does need to do any kind of detoxing. When someone gets started on this, and if this is something new and different for them, the body has the ability to start to initiate a detox. So, and that's usually a short-lived period of time where the energy levels might drop a little bit during that detox, but then things start to go up. But what you're experiencing and what you just described is pretty typical. When people are just getting started. For me personally, when I started to notice my supplement use just spontaneously, intuitively started dropping, and that was like kind of what you mentioned about using, I used a focus drink in the morning to start my day. And, I still felt like I was asleep when I was awake until that energy drink kicked in, or that focus drink kicked in. And after patching and getting started on the patch, I was probably 2 or 3 months in where just in hindsight, I realized, hey, I haven't reached for that in a very long time. I didn't have to replenish my stock. So when I started looking at that, my supplement use had gone down so much. I was actually saving more money by what I wasn't needing to purchase for my health as opposed to what I was spending on the patches. And then in the time since then, I'm seeing that happen more and more, because as more and more people come on board, we have a lot of practitioners that are starting to utilize the patch with their clients. And that is what's starting to happen, is that the after being on patches for, whether it's 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days, they're the way that they're getting the biofeedback and the testing from the body is their need for those supplements are dramatically reduced in the upwards of hundreds of dollars a month that people are saving, because their body is just functioning at a higher level just by activating those stem cells and getting things functioning. So It's exciting what we're seeing. Like I said, with the company and the growth, to me, it's like the company itself. Again, if you just kind of look up LifeWave, the last 2 years, they've been crowned with an award being the fastest growing company in the entire world, not just in the United States. So when I look at things like that, again, you can't do that. A company can't do that unless they have a product that is profoundly impacting the population. And that is what is happening with LifeWave. So the beauty of that is that, the word's just getting out. There's still way more people that don't know about the LifeWave patches than do. And the numbers are just skyrocketing. So the company's going to continue to grow. The word's going to continue to spread. I see more and more healing happening across this nation and this globe. And this is one of the ways that people are going to be doing it.
Yep. And again, if you want more information on it, text the word Patriot to 330-606-2304. I train, I compete in freestyle wrestling in the seniors division, not the young guys division. And in my sport, I spend a lot of time in the MMA gyms. And those MMA fighters, when they have a down limb or whatever, they have to get that thing fixed because their income depends on it. So what they do is they go to, and this is one of the reasons why I got interested in this patch, is they go to Tijuana and they get stem cell injections. And it's very controversial because it's incredibly expensive and it comes from probably aborted babies. It's a very, very sick practice, but it works. it heals them in a minute, and it makes these guys, to a point where they're ready to go in like a new athlete. And now that's of course where they're pulling stem cells out of another being, another person. But with this, we're not doing that, right? It's actually stimulating your existing stem cells and sort of growing your existing stem cells. Is that right?
Yeah, it's like it's reactivating the stem cells that you already have that have gone dormant. It's waking them up, it's reactivating, it's putting them back to work, and then they can do the reproduction process. So like stem cells can make new stem cells. So it's amazing. When you talked about the athletes, I mean, athletes are getting tremendous results on these patches, and again, without the need for supplements. And even athletic, a medical doctor, I know he worked with the NBA. He had this high tech healing technology from Russia that he was using, and he was in such high demand. He was being flown all over the country. This was a technology that worked. It helped them heal quicker. It got them back on the court quicker. But it was a medical device that he had to use as a medical doctor, and he was in high demand. And he started implementing the patches in place of that because another athletic trainer person had told them, this works way better than what you're doing. And so he put it to use, and it worked. And he was getting better results on his athletes than he was with this other technology that he was using. And the beauty of it, like he says, is I don't physically have to be present to, give that athlete a session. And it just changed his life completely in the fact that he was able to help more people and not have to be everywhere at once to do it. So,
Excellent. Very good.
Amazing things happen.
Well, at the office, they buy Diet Cokes. And yesterday I got a Diet Coke out of habit. I pulled one out of the fridge. I drank it. And I remember thinking, God, I don't want to do that again. So today I went, and they had the Diet Coke there, and I got the carbonated water. It was so nice walking away from that fridge, not taking a Diet Coke. What the hey do they put in those things?
Well, your body, I feel like the more we do to help our body, the more in tune our body is to those kinds of things, and the more aware you are of those toxins and what they do when they're put in your body. I will add, and again, if you text that word to that number, you're going to get enough information for you to make a decision on whether it's something you want to move forward with. But I will just say the only instruction or direction that we have to give with the patches to help them function optimally is to make sure our bodies are hydrated. So we are electrical machines. We need hydration, and we need minerals to move that electricity, that energy through our body. So, having a really good electrolyte minerals, we use the Celtic sea salts or the pink salts, just something to get good minerals into your body and plenty of hydration. Those two things are going to help the patches work at their best. So
yeah, and more on that caffeine, because I guess that's really my fascination now, because that's my experience, is that I am less caffeine dependent. I work out really, really hard, and so there are some mornings when I wake up and I'm dead. I'm a dead dog, but I'm bearing through it, and I don't need that caffeine. But the caffeine that I drink is the big energy drinks, and they used to put on them the word cyan. And people started to say that word cyan stands for cyanide, that they're putting cyanide in those drinks, and I think that they are. And I remember thinking, I don't want to drink these anymore, but if I don't drink them, I will not have the energy to go forward with my day. So I would have to be drinking drinks that most likely had a poison in them just to get through my day. So, but yeah, with this X39 patch, I've tried it, and I don't need that caffeine, so it's quite a relief.
Yeah. That alone is going to help a lot of people.
Well, Lisa, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. Again, to the audience, if you want more information on the LifeWave X39 patch, text the word Patriot to 330-606-2304. And that's it. Anything to finish off, Lisa?
I think we've got the bases covered, so I'm just excited to help more people and to get the word out. And if you do text that number, we're going to get you the information you need. We've got some great videos from even medical doctors just explaining the patch. David Schmidt himself, you get to hear directly from the founder talking about this technology, phototherapy, how and why it works in the body in a very simple way that anybody can understand. So
Great.
We're just excited to get the word out.
And it's affordable, am I correct?
Very affordable. So you talked about people getting stem cell injections. A friend of mine was battling cancer and had chosen to go that route. 2 stem cell injection over the 6-month time period was $25,000 a pop. So over $50,000 to get someone else's or another source of stem cells injected into his body. Now, it was beneficial to him. It was life-saving to him. But for the rest of us, for less than a little over $3 a day, my friend says for $25 a week, I can activate my own stem cells and get my body onto the path of healing. So for me personally, it's worth every penny. For all the people that are currently using the patch, it's worth every penny and more. It's very, very affordable when it comes to, a medical technology that is life-altering.
Great. Again, text the word Patriot to 330-606-2304 for more information on the X39 LifeWave patch. And thank you very much, Lisa. You have a very good night, and thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for having me. Good night.
Bye-bye.